You own a moisture meter, and I'd bet you've been reading it wrong for years. Not the machine's fault, yours. Mine too, once. You stab it in a board, it says 9%, you nod like you know what that means, and you build. Then, 6 months later, the door won't shut and the panel's cupped, and you're standing there wondering what you did wrong. Let me show you something. The number on that little screen isn't the whole story. It's barely half of it. And I'm going to walk you through every reading that meter can give you, what each one actually means, and the one thing nobody tells you that's the real reason your wood moves after you've already put it together. 45 years at the bench. My old man handed me a meter back in the 70s, and I read it wrong for the first 10 years. So sit tight. This is the whole thing, start to finish. First, what is that number even measuring? Moisture content. The percent of water weight inside the wood compared to the bone-dry wood itself. Freshly cut green lumber can read up in the high 10s, even higher. Kiln-dried stuff you buy is supposed to sit down around 6 to 8. Sounds simple. It isn't. And here's the first place folks go wrong. That number is only true for the exact spot you stuck it. The surface of a board and the core of a board are two different animals. You bring a thick slab in from a cold truck. The outside dries first while the middle's still wet as a sponge. Your meter reads the outside, tells you a happy little number, and you go to work. The middle is lying in wait. So the first trick, take more than one reading. Read both faces. Read the ends and read the middle of the length. Read a couple boards out of the stack, not just the one on top. One reading off one spot is a guess wearing a lab coat. 5 readings tells you the truth. Now, the two kinds of meter, because this matters more than the brand ever will. I won't name brands, never have on this bench, but there are two families. One kind has pins, little metal spikes you press or drive into the wood. That kind measures the electrical resistance between the two pins, because wet wood carries current easier than dry wood. It reads right where the pins are, and if you want the core, you drive longer pins deeper. The downside, you're poking holes in your work. Fine on framing, not so fine on a finished tabletop. The other kind is pinless, flat sensor pad you lay on the surface. It reads a field down into the wood, no holes, no marks. Beautiful for finished stock. But it wants good flat contact, and it reads an average of everything under that pad, so a void or a knot under there will throw it. Neither one is better. They're different tools for different jobs, and both of them share the same trap, which is the part almost nobody shows you. So here it comes. That meter was calibrated at the factory for one wood, usually a common softwood. Douglas fir, near enough. But you're not always cutting fir, are you? You're cutting oak, walnut, maple, cherry, whatever came home in the truck. And every species carries current a little different. Same actual moisture, different reading on the screen. This is the big one. This is why your wood warps after a meter told you it was dry. The meter said 8, but you were reading a dense hardwood on a fir setting, and the real number was higher or lower than what you trusted. The fix is the species correction. Most any decent meter has a setting, a dial or a chart, where you tell it what wood you're testing. You set it for oak when you're reading oak. If yours won't set, it comes with a paper correction table, and you look up your species and adjust the number by hand. Takes 10 seconds. Skip it, and you've thrown out the whole reason you own the thing. And temperature. Cold wood reads drier than it really is. Warm wood a touch wetter. If your board's been sitting in an unheated garage in January and you carry it into a warm shop and read it right away, you're reading cold, not dry. Let it come to room temperature first. Better meters have a temperature adjustment built in. Either way, don't trust a reading off a board that's still cold to the touch. All right, rehook, because here's where it all comes together. And this is the piece that separates a fella who owns a meter from a fella who understands wood. The number itself doesn't tell you if the wood will move. What tells you is the difference between where the wood is now and where it's going to end up. Wood is always chasing the air around it. Humid summer, it drinks moisture and swells. Dry winter, with the furnace running, it gives moisture back and shrinks. It never stops. It's alive that way long after the tree's gone. There's a target for every spot on Earth and every season, and it's got a name. Equilibrium moisture content. Big words, simple idea. It's the moisture level your wood will settle at and hold once it's made peace with the air in the room where it's going to live. Inside a heated house in most of the country, that lands somewhere in the middle single digits. In a damp basement shop, it sits higher. Now watch what that does for you. You buy lumber reading, say, 11%. Your finished room settles wood at 7. That board is going to lose 4 points of moisture whether you like it or not, and as it does, it shrinks. If you built it green like that, it shrinks inside the joint. Panels crack, miters open, tabletops cup. So the real trick, the one my old man beat into me, you don't build to a number off the truck. You bring the wood inside, sticker it with little spacers between the boards so air gets all the way around every face, and you let it sit in the space where it's going to live. Then you read it. Read it again a few days later. When the number quits moving, the wood's done chasing the air. Now it's stable. Now you build. Same spot, same reading, 2 readings a few days apart that match. That's the green light nobody talks about. A meter's not there to tell you the wood is dry. It's there to tell you the wood has stopped changing. Different thing entirely. Couple more things this tool does that folks never use. You can find a wet spot in a wall or a floor before it turns into rot you can smell. Run the meter along a suspect area and watch for the number to jump. You can check firewood, though that's the easy job. And you can settle an argument with a lumberyard when the boards you bought aren't near as dry as the sticker claims. I've done that. 1, 2. 1 honest word so you don't chase perfection. These meters aren't laboratory instruments. They'll get you close, within a point or two when you use them right, and close is all you need for good work. What matters isn't the exact digit. It's using the meter the same careful way every time so your readings mean something you can compare. And a small safety note, because I'd be no kind of teacher if I skipped it. If you're ever poking around near an outlet or an electrical box hunting a leak, keep that metal-pinned meter well clear of live wire. It's built for wood, not for current. Respect that and read wood with it, nothing else. So here's where you leave the manual behind. Stop stabbing one board and trusting one number. Take your readings in a handful of spots. Set the meter for the actual wood in your hands. Let cold wood warm up first. Then sticker your lumber in the room it'll live in and wait for 2 readings to match before you cut a thing. Do that and your joints stay tight, your panels stay flat, and that door still shuts easy 2 winters from now. Go grab whatever board's leaning in your shop right now and read it in 5 spots. I'd bet money the numbers aren't all the same. That's the wood telling you the truth the screen was hiding. All right, that's 1 more off the bench. Keep 'em sharp and don't be a stranger.